Hello, everyone. Welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. Today, we are reviewing the match between Tottenham and Brighton. Full-time score: Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. I'm rubbing my hands with glee because I know that this episode will be properly lit. I've got a couple of guests on the other side. We'll find out who they are. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Come On You Spurs TV. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. If you need to get notified of any time we go live or share a video, please hit the bell button to get notified. And please like and comment and leave your comments. Today it's going to be a really, really interesting show. What a match. What a match. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. I think going into this match, a lot of people would have looked at Spurs as the underdogs for this match, and the bookies had us as as favorites to lose this match. Where do I even start? Welcome. Let's just welcome our guests first before we get into the nitty gritty of things. We've got with us Folabi. Folabi, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Soji. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having
Fantastic.
me once again on the show.
Fantastic. And also we got Ben. Ben hasn't been away for a while. I mean, how are you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm looking forward to it's a good match to be back on because I don't think I could have said much on the other matches we played. So yeah, I'm glad to be back on this
Absolutely
one.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Good one.
Absolutely fantastic.
Ben, good to see you. Looking
So
good. Good to see you, Ben.
let's just
Yeah,
say,
nice to
I
see you guys.
mean, what a match. I think the tone of the match was probably set even before the match started. I saw De Zerbi and Stellini having a go at each other with De Zerbi pointing his hand pointedly. I mean, at Stellini. At the time, I was wondering what that was all about. Commentators at the end said something along the lines of maybe there had been some sort of press conference. We'll come back to that in a minute, but that sort of set the tone for the match. It became a really, really feisty match. Guys, what do you make of that match? Ben.
Well, from the off, I hadn't taken the liberty of trailing anything Tottenham. I didn't really want to read anything. I heard that we're signing a new deputy to Levy, and he was going to be the guy that if this guy came back from his garden leave, would Paratici report to him. So I read that, and I thought, yeah, whatever, nothing new. And then I saw this. I watched one of our rivals. They build up to the match, and they both of them from Tottenham TV. Both of them. One of the brothers gave Tottenham losing 3-1, and the other one gave us drawing 2-2. So I thought to myself, write this match off. It's based on what I saw last week against um, whoever we played. Based on that, I thought we don't stand a
Everton.
chance.
Everton.
Yeah, Everton.
Everton.
Yeah. I said we don't stand a chance, not against the free flame Brighton. They're gonna freaking have us for dinner. So I thought, you know what? If you hadn't asked me to come on tonight, I wouldn't have watched it. So the only reason I watched it is because I knew I was gonna have to come on the show. But I wasn't looking forward to it. I thought there's no why would I want to watch a slaughter? And I thought, nah, they didn't fill me with any sense of being able to win that match. And I thought I'll watch it because we're going to discuss it, but let's see whether we have long faces today. So for me, it turned out to be a fantastic match to watch, simply because we won, and I don't care how we won. I just want Tottenham to do all they can to get the 3 points in every match we play. I don't care. I don't really care whether Sanchez comes on and chops grass whatever. As long as we win, I'm going to be happy. So that was a good match to watch. It's filled me with lots of good enzymes and hormones and stuff. So now I feel good. It was a good match to watch. It's a good day to be a Spurs supporter, based on all the crap we've been dealt with lately.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Even even VAR was on our side.
yeah, we'll come to that in a minute. But okay, pre-match, Brighton has been billed as this fluent, free-flowing, good football playing side, under the Zerbi, and he seemed to be getting his tactics or his methods to his players, and they are really, really fluid when it comes to matches. They're playing some really, really lovely stuff, and they showed that as well today in the first half. And I mean, they had us on the back foot for a lot of the game, and even though we scored first, I mean, it was more or less against the run of play. However, Folabi, if you recall, I mean, if you watch that match, I mean, at the beginning, you saw that. I mean, pre-match there had been this sort of rumbling in the background, of how there's so much negativity around Spurs. Even the commentators said so about how people will sort of perceive Spurs as so much negativity going on in the last 12 months around the team, and of course that led to Antonio Conte's departure, and of course it sort of permeates into our performance. However, we've actually had a what we might call a decent home form in the last four matches we've had. I think up to this match we won our last three matches at home. I think it's just the away form that hasn't been fantastic for us. Folabi, what do you make of that match?
Well, but let me start by going back to your entry when you said about the Zabi and Sassini about the John pre-match. I think our coach had just said, I think it was just mind games, and I don't think it was so much when he said that Zabi had inherited a good side from Graham Potter, and he was doing a pretty good job. I think that was the flashpoint. He didn't want that thing to. By saying inherited, he undermined the good job that he's been doing. You know, and they are a good flowing forward moving side. And our last two performances, you say negativity about the last 12 months. I wouldn't say necessarily about the last 12 months. I would certainly say about the last 6 months. And yeah, we've been very negative. We've always been sitting on the back foot and trying to hold oppositions and coming out in the second half. And in the last 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, definitely we've been playing much better in the second half than in the first half. Our first half performances basically have been non existent, both home and away. Both home and away. And it's been very, very appalling, boring, and unentertaining to watch. You know, let's be truthful with ourselves. Spurs have not been firing on many cylinders. We won't even go on all cylinders. We haven't been firing on many cylinders at all. I think we're still in the top four position running simply because of our usual rivals, Chelsea, Liverpool, have been doing worse than us, basically. And that's the truth. That's why we're still in the position of where we are. And coming to this game, I wouldn't say, I would say yes, we were definitely duly rightly put as the underdogs, even though we were playing at home. You know, based on our performances, especially in the last two games against Southampton and against Everton. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, especially against, I mean, we were 3-1 up against Southampton and drawing 3-3. I mean, in the position we were in, we shouldn't have even been in that position to be giving away any penalty. in the last seconds of the game. Against Everton, as soon as we scored, we basically sat back and allowed them to attack us. And they did attack us and scored, and we were lucky, fortunate to get a draw. Today, if I was a Brighton supporter, I would be livid. I would be livid. I would be screaming and shouting at VAR, smashing things, abusing VAR, because I try to be very rational. Yes, I'm always biased towards Spurs. Yes, for me, the end justifies the means as long as we get the 3 points to an extent. To an extent. But we have been robbed many times. I do believe against the Southampton game, there was never a penalty to be called, but it was called against us. And I think today we rode our luck. We rode our luck. We have certain players who are starting for Spurs who have no business, absolutely no business, even being in the squad. Not to talk of starting. And there'll come a time that this luck, unless I mean, and the other thing I've got to say is, I wonder if our managers are actually watching the games we're watching, or they're watching a different game from what we're watching. You're playing as diabolically as we were playing up until the 74th minute, 75th, 78th minute, and you've made those substitutions, and you're allowed to make 5 substitutions. What are you waiting for? You're in a position where you can make so many substitutions. You can change your entire formation. You can change your entire form of play and everything. And you see that your team is not going anywhere. It's not going forward. It's not playing well. You're at home, and you're just sitting there twiddling your thumb.
Right. So
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I just don't get it.
Okay. Carry on. Sorry. Finish up. Follow me.
No, my Bruce to grain is against the managers right now. The players, we know the players. We know the players. We know their capabilities and everything. I mean, what is the definition of, I'm sorry to say it, foolishness? Trying the same thing
insanity,
over
right?
and over and expecting a different result. No, seriously, today, yeah, we got a different result. We were lucky, thanks to VAR. But that's the only reason. We played as abysmally as we've been playing lately. We've just played it just as poorly. Let's be truthful with ourselves. We can be rubbing our hands. We can be gleaming with the 3 points. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely happy with the 3 points. But there's going to come a time when, unless we start addressing some of these issues, everybody will come onto this platform and be just cursing and swearing. I'm telling you.
Okay. Follow. Thanks for that. I mean, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, please leave your comments. We're very much welcome to discuss them. If you have any questions, please post them on the comment section. We'll come to them. And if you have any comments to make as well, I mean, we very much look forward to you joining the conversation. So join us on Common Use Spurs TV. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're also live on Facebook. So very much looking forward to your comments and contribute to this debate on the match. I mean, for me, I thought we were on the back foot a little bit, but when we went forward, it proved to be telling because we seemed to be counter-attacking, even though we were at home. And when we got into attacking positions, we seemed to cause them a lot of problems, which essentially culminated in Son's opening goal. Now, if you look at the goal that Son scored, Son has been on 99 goals for quite a while, and this brought him the 100 mark. This first Asian player to score 100 goals in the Premier League. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I know he hasn't had a stellar season compared to last season when he won the Golden Boot, but this season has been a bit of a damp squib for him in comparison to where he was last season. But kudos to him, kept his head down, and I mean that was an absolutely fantastic goal. Ben, you saw that goal, didn't you?
Yes, I saw that goal. The goal was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe the way um, the way he just got hold of that ball and just found space. He was just reminiscent of the way he used to play before. The way I just love watching him play. It's absolutely fantastic. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Ben. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I
Okay,
can
yeah,
hear you.
I can hear
All
you.
right, so that
Yeah,
sort of set us up nicely, but we kept giving the ball away. We just kept giving the ball away. We just couldn't seem to hold on to the ball. Even though Brighton were threatening, and I mean, for me, Brighton play absolutely beautiful football. I mean, it's a joy to watch from a neutral's perspective, but very very painful from a Tottenham perspective. I mean, having them playing around with the ball and just being so super confident on the ball. We had us okay. Granted, we kept it compact shape, but I just felt that they dominated possession for long periods in the match. I mean, there's a point in the match when they had about 7 opportunities and we had only about 2. Or one on target. I mean, and that was us playing at home. Now, were we playing off the back foot or were we playing on the front foot? And Brighton didn't give us a chance to actually break or make any headway in the first half of the match. I mean, guys, what do you reckon? Ben, you saw that, didn't you? What did you think at that point?
no, at that part, I just sunk back into despondency because I just saw Conte's words just writ large all over the place. I thought these players, I mean, they get paid. I said, are these guys getting paid to do this? And if they are, what are they playing at? Why can't they just get themselves up and play a game of football for Christ's sakes? It's not like actually it's beyond words. I can't even find words to describe how I feel when the players just play crap. I mean, some people are saying, "Oh yeah, Zerbi will get our players playing like the way he gets Brighton playing." Now, Zerbi had, as Chuma was saying, he had great time managing clubs, including Shakhtar Donetsk and the rest. And he replicated his form in all those clubs, and now he's come to Brighton and done the same thing. That he must be good. Yeah, but they got players though. Our players just seem to be the only ones in the EPL that have that need dummies or pacifiers. They need love before they can play football. You know, you just be shouting at them and they just be running up and down and losing it. And the worst thing of all is that even Kane said it. He said he's not coming for the manager. The manager's not the one to tell him to sit back. He said the players just see they just lose it and start to fall back. And he said malaise that all the players in Tottenham, whether they're new ones or old ones, they all suffer from the same thing. I don't know what it is that makes them just sit back. Just sit back. And I think one of the reasons is because they don't have a midfield. Because they don't have a midfield, they always get overrun in the midfield.
Okay, so
Always overrun.
that leaves us with a conundrum as a team. I mean, if you were a Tottenham fan and you saw your team being overrun week in week out, because this is not the first time this has happened, right? And presumably everybody's saying, well, what might call pundits or experts in football, look at our system and say we haven't got the players to if we don't have a creative midfielder in our pack. I mean, the only person who you might call creative in that midfield is currently injured, which is Bentancur. But even he was not bought as a creative midfielder. He was brought in as a sort of destroyer alongside Højbjerg. But he sort of found a way to get forward at key moments. You also thought maybe Bissouma would do something similar, but playing under Conte, they kind of what you might call would you call it constrict or restrict him from making forward runs or being a bit more attack minded. So it's come here and it's become a lot more defensive minded. However, I mean, in all of this, okay, Brighton came across and they created an opportunity that seemed they made it look so easy for Mitoma, and he got in between Dyer and Romero, And thankfully, I mean, they got disallowed for handball. I mean, but if you look closely at the sequence of play, you saw that okay, we were very fortunate with that VAR decision on one level because okay, fine, he caught his arm, but I think the reason he caught his arm was maybe because Romero gave him a small nudge, and that sort of, I mean, enabled the ball to sort of hit his arm, and the goal got ruled out for offside. However, I think the important thing, if you like, from the Spurs perspective, if you like, was that even though the goal was given against them, you didn't see Mitoma sort of mount a huge protest or sort of complain vigorously and say, "Oh, he didn't hit his arm" or anything like that. So I guess from maybe that proved to be the correct decision at the time. But overall, we keep seeing this things where you leave key people unmarked, or you sort of maybe have which might call is momentary lack in concentration, and that leaves people to get into good positions to attack us. Now, we didn't wait for too long. Of course, they had a corner, and what next? I mean, talk us through that goal, Folabi.
What, Hurricanes goal?
No. The Brighton goal from Dunk, the equalizer.
I think the best person to talk you through that is maybe Dyer.
Really? for Dunk's goal?
Look, it's shambles. It was too easy. It was too much. It was too easy for them. It was just too easy. Look, Brighton overran us in their box-to-box midfield play. Okay, and we saw that, and there was no adjustments in our play. We just kept on allowing them to overrun us. We kept on allowing them to overrun us, and you saw their goal coming. You are seeing their goal coming before it came, and our play and everything just made it too easy and pacified them and just let them score. For me, that goal, I'm surprised it didn't come earlier than it came.
All right, so they put us under a lot of pressure before that goal came in.
But
right?
we allowed them to put us under that pressure.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm trying to say. But we allowed them to continuously keep us under that pressure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, and then they had also a lot of shots on goal. They created opportunities, but they didn't have the killer touch to make their goal efforts count. However, but I think from our perspective, how you would let loose the tallest man in one of the tallest guys in the Premiership, actually, right? He and Burn in Newcastle are probably the tallest defenders, and you let him have a free run in the box from a corner. That was almost like criminal. How that happened, I have no clue from that defense. But subsequent to that, you found that Skip was the one meant to obviously block him and obviously sort of disturb his runs and stuff like that, which it did a reasonable job up to a point. But I just felt that it was what you might call a wrong matchup, if you like, because Skip against Dunk. It's a no contest, isn't it? How tall is Skip and how tall is Dunk? In terms of physical frame. I guess the best he could do was put him off either with a nudge or get in his face, or disturb his run to stop him from making his run.
Or make it as uncomfortable. At least make it more difficult. Don't make it so easy.
Absolutely. So from our perspective, I thought the equalizer was a little bit soft. More than a little bit soft. It was actually very, very soft, And then they had another goal ruled out again.
Put in a tackle, make an effort. Let us, even if you miss the tackle, let us see that you're making. There was just no effort at all. It was just, okay, just go and score. Basically, lift up your hands. Okay, just go and score. We've already scored one, so you go and equalize.
However, so if we look at they had a goal again disallowed when Danny Welbeck scored. Ben, what did you think when that goal went in? Talk us through.
When it went in, when that goal went in, I thought to myself, why are we seeing this rubbish happen all over again? That's what I felt. And I thought, well, they deserved the goal. Well, the goal had already gone in. Sorry, this was Danny Welbeck's attempt, which got ruled handball, wasn't it?
Yes, it was handball against.
Yeah.
He hit the ball and he hit McAllister on the way in.
Yeah, that's right. But when he went in, I thought to myself, oh shit. Pardon my French. I thought, not again. We've collapsed again. But luckily for us, it was ruled off. We ruled out by VAR, so I didn't have too long to feel bad. And then we kicked on from there. But you know, if you check that, if you think that could have gone either way because of VAR, without VAR, it wouldn't have been caught anyway. But with VAR, it could have gone either way. And the other one that went in as well, of Mutomo's hand, his arm, that could have been 3-2 to them. So
Absolutely.
we could have been, we just as easy as that, we could have been, you know, not smiling, put it that way. So I choose to smile. I choose to take what little comfort I can from days when Spurs make me smile. I choose to smile.
I think from a neutral's perspective, Brighton perspective, they probably feel hard done by today's outcome and some of the decisions that went against them. I mean, like you said earlier on, if you were a Brighton fan, you'd be outraged and thoroughly flipping, you know, really, really upset, you know, as to some of those decisions that went against them. And they also had a few penalty shouts as well, didn't they? I mean, had one when Mitoma went down from a child. Well, it kind of got stamped on by Højbjerg. Guy, what do you think about that? Should that have been a penalty? Bobby?
100%.
That seems like it could be good enough. Okay, that's
there's no ifs or buts. You know, let's be truthful with ourselves. And Højbjerg was just clumsy. Was just very clumsy. I mean, he still has Song. He still has Song there to pass. You know, Højbjerg was just being clumsy as he usually is clumsy anyway. You know. So anyway, you've asked me the question, I've answered. So it's okay.
Ben, what do you think? You think that should have been a penalty?
Yeah, of course. Every day, it would have been because I mean, there's no point, you know, trying to do like INEC. If you see something that's not is right, you have to call it.
Yeah. Well,
and man, that was a penalty.
So they should go to court, right? No, Brighton, they should go to court. They didn't get the penalty. So
if you're joining for the first time, this is Come On You Spurs TV. Leave your comments in the comment section below. We'll welcome you. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and on Facebook. Welcome and subscribe to the channel. And also share with your friends and, I mean, like the channel as well to ensure that you continue to get the good stuff that we give us. Now, we got lucky. We got away with a lot of decisions that could have gone against us at other times, right? But there's this theory in football that everything comes out in the wash at the end of the season. You get points in the season when decisions don't seem to go in your favor. And I remember in particular, the last match I would play against Southampton, we've been 3-1 up. Okay, they had a dodgy penalty to make it 3-3. And I mean, that penalty was given, but a lot of pundits and commentators and sort of what you might call independent viewers, right, were the opinion that was a very, very, very soft penalty. So we've seen decisions go against us in many situations, and I can recall other times in the course of the season when we had stonewall penalties that weren't granted to us as well. So I guess one of these days when we made our own luck, you know, and it's one of these things, yeah, you just sort of got lucky. But if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you don't score, you know, I mean, it doesn't count. So Mr. Kane went and scored the second goal, I thought that was a fantastic play, passage of play. It involved Danjuma. Danjuma come in as a substitute, didn't he, right? And for me, I think the key moment was when he took away the defenders with him, because he made a run, took the defenders away from him. They were running back towards the goal, and which opened up the channel for Højbjerg to pull the ball back to Kane, and it was a fantastic strike to come in for the second goal. What do you think, Olabi?
No, Danjuma pressing and everything, and taking the defenders away from him, created the space, created that goal. You know, and that's what I've been shouting about. And I said it earlier that why wait so late? I mean, 76th, 80th minute, you're bringing on a subbing. You'll be seeing there's been no pressing, no forward movement, and everything, and no positiveness. You know, but Danjuma coming in, yeah, he did by taking away two defenders. You know, and giving that extra yard of space, created that goal and made that goal happen. You know, so I think it was intelligent football. That's the way I'll describe that goal. It was intelligent football.
And what a finish by Harry Kane! What a finish!
I mean, what a finish! I mean, you expect nothing less. But even though he does miss a couple of sitters and everything, but from his record and everything, I think we had two very, very good strikes. Two very, very good strikes. One from Sonny, obviously, and the other one from Kane. And they were very, very good strikes. And I think they would have been most keepers would have definitely found either one very, or if not both, very difficult to stop.
Now, before the goal, there was a lot of a big altercation on the touchline when Stellini and De Zerbi got sent off. Now, according to the commentators, it wasn't because of anything that they did individually, but it was said that they didn't control their bench or their benches, you know, or backroom staff. So because of that, they deserve to get sent off. Now, all right. So I think if you look at the body language of both benches, if you like, I mean, especially with De Zerbi's what you might call animated or aggressive tone towards Stellini at the start of the match, I didn't quite understand what that was about. I mean, of course, we now know that it was because of the comments he made, you know. But I don't think that was. I mean, that wasn't called for, if you like. You know, I guess that kind of set the tone across the board for a first team match. But that we also noticed in the match that the guys were it was a really first team match. You know, I mean, both people were going into tackles. You know, it was very, very hotly contested, and I thought that our players really stood up to be counted towards the end of the match when they needed to stand up and prevent goals from going in, and also to go into attack when needed when we needed to go get into attack. I thought the last 15-20 minutes was crucial. Now, talking of Danjuma, I mean, a lot of people have kind of said, why pay money or take him on loan if you weren't going to use him in matches? And okay, granted, he came on today and had a chance, and I thought in the little cameo that he had, he did the job, or part of the job that he was meant to do, essentially create opportunities either for him to score or for others to score around him, which he did very well. Like you said, he ran up the ball, created the space, the yard of space that was needed, and that was the telling moments of that match. So for me, however you cut it, right, you have a player who has come in twice in matches, right, and made telling contributions in the 2 times that he's played. Okay, maybe this is the 3rd time he's played, but for me, the first match he played, came in, scored a goal, right? This match is the match where he's probably stayed on the longest, apart from when he started when against Preston North End. But this time round, came on, and did the job of creating the opportunity for Kane to score a goal. I think his stake, his place is made a good stake for either a start or at least a longer cameo when matches are going on. What do you think? If you guys agree with me from home, leave your comments in the comment section below. And also, let's hear from you. Tell us where in the world you're joining us from. Okay, right, Ben, you're going to tell us what you thought about that.
Yeah. So remind me quickly about what you just talked about.
Now, I was saying about Danjuma, about staking his claim for a place in the starting lineup or having a longer spell in the squad, because for whatever reason we haven't had him really play that much,
Yeah, I mean, save you saying what you said, because he didn't really have much time when he came on, did he? I mean, when he did come on, he came on for Kulusevski, and I think there's about 10 minutes left or so, not much time. I might be mistaken, I don't know, but this, because the subs were made really late on, and some of them were a bit iffy, but anyway, Danjuma, apart from, if you hadn't told me about his contribution to the goal, I don't think I saw that. But that's brilliant if he did make a contribution, because what I remember was it was the pullback by the reverse pass by
so, but if you watch the match, if you watch that if you sort of follow the pattern of play, Daniel made a run that took the defenders were trying to sort of obviously follow his run, right, and that took them away from Kane, who was approaching. So that gave Kane the yard and the space for Mr. Højbjerg to pull the ball back, and struck the ball home. Well, that's intelligent running, isn't it? I mean, that's which is what I was saying, and I was kind of
that is.
And I was saying that, look, ultimately, it's it's not only about when you have the ball, but also what you do when you don't have the ball. The sort of runs that you make to create space, not just for yourself, but also for the guys in the team around you. When will we have a change of pattern of how we play? The reason I say that is because, okay, so towards the end of the match, you could see that, of course, we were fighting, we jumping into tackles, stood strong, and all that, But we just always seem to be playing on the back foot all the time, as if we're all waiting for people to attack us before we actually do stuff or catch people on the counter. Why can't we? Take the game to teams, right? I guess at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, right? Whether you win it nicely, you win it rough, but the key is having the 3 points. I would rather have Tottenham win pretty, but winning pretty doesn't always get you what you want. What do you guys think?
Playing pretty football.
Sorry.
Playing pretty football.
Sorry?
Playing pretty football. Yeah, when you talk about playing pretty football, I think a lot of fans, when they saw Mourinho land at the front gates, thought to themselves, fudge for pretty football. We just want to win something. We had pretty football under Poch, and all we got is memories, but no silverware. So people just thought, well, maybe we could live with playing, boring football. And then when they saw it, they didn't like it because it wasn't winning anything. Because the only way they'd take it is if it was winning something. And since we're playing ugly football and winning jack all, people fell out of love with it. But the hierarchy thought, well, let's try one more. Let's try Conte. He plays defensive football, but maybe he can do it. And we know what happened there. So, when you say you want pretty football, I'm sure many people do. I'm sure many people want pretty football, but people are afraid that we're not even going to see football, not to talk about pretty football. So these guys are not capable of playing pretty football. Why? Because it's obvious. Think about Tottenham teams in the past. We had Dembele, Musa Dembele, right, who would carry the ball from midfield. Five players would try and get the ball from him. He'll get out from them and pass it out to our guys out on the wings. Then we're playing football. When we had Ericsson, same thing. We don't have, and then even Bentancur was trying to play into that position. You know, that quarterback that feels the ball and sprays it out. You know, forget about Dyer. Dyer tried to get there. You know, because he tries to be so many different players. He ends up being shabby at all of them because you know he used to be able to spread the ball, but then suddenly he switches off like freaking like the timer, like the standby mode. That's what it keeps. They just go into standby mode and everything just freezes. Him and Sanchez, they're both the same. They have some really good matches, and then they have some dire ones. No pun intended. You know, so
Well,
it's
ultimately, we came
it's
away with the results. You might
yeah.
say we probably were
Luckily
very
though,
fortunate. Sorry?
luckily it's only luck. It's luck and VAR. That's what did
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, we came away with the results. I mean, pretty fortunate with the decisions that went against Brighton. And like I was saying earlier on, you got to sort of take those things on the chin and move on. I mean, we had, like I said, matches when things have gone against us, and yeah, I mean, we weren't able to sort of ride the storm and come back. But today, we're on the other side of being in favor of favorable decisions that went our way, and yeah, long may it continue. In terms of our rivals around us, it looks like we've lost. Oh, okay, you're back. In terms of our rivals around us, Newcastle won today for the fourth place. Man United also won, which essentially means that all those games in hand that we were talking about almost like non-existent now. I mean, Man U are 6 points ahead of us, even though we have one more game than them, and there are 3 points ahead of us rather, and we have one more game than them, and thankfully we won against Brighton today, so that sort of extended our lead against Brighton by 3 points. So that's a plus. But we still have 2 games in hand against them, so we're now ahead of them by 7 points, aren't we? You know, Newcastle again. I think they're ahead of us by 3 points as well. So that's still. It's still anybody's game, you know. It's still open to, you know. And some people will say to you, "Look, we probably don't deserve to be fourth at this. I mean, at the end of this season because we haven't really played that well and we haven't done that great." But I think ultimately it's about how you grind out results, isn't it? I mean, it's not about how pretty you play. Well, what do you think, Folabi?
Well, I've always said that two things. One, you only play as well as your opponents allow you to play. And unfortunately for Spurs, we've been allowing our opponents to play against us and attack us and play us. We've dropped in the last 3 games, we've dropped unnecessarily 4 points.
Mm.
2 against Southampton, 2 against Everton. At this stage of the game, at this stage of the at this stage of the league, 4 points is a lot. 4 points is a lot.
Absolutely.
And we have let's be truthful, we have dropped them. Against Southampton, as I said, we had even if yes, as it was, I still say it was never a penalty. Yes, it was a very very soft penalty, and it was never. But we should not have put ourselves in that position in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
There was absolutely no need to have put ourselves in that position. After we went 3-1 up, we sat back, allowed them to attack us. They went to 3-2, and we didn't even learn. We still didn't learn. And 99, almost the last kick of the game, penalty. I mean, against Everton, we allowed them to be taking
10 players.
pop shots. Every
10 players as well.
Yeah, 10 players. Against Everton, it was 10 players. Oh, well, it was 10-10.
In the end.
But yeah, but we didn't. Again, everybody says it was a great hit, and very few keepers would have stopped that goal, and it wasn't Lloris's fault. Again, we shouldn't have put ourselves in that position. Again, we shouldn't have put ourselves. We had we had a very soft penalty, and we had 10 men against 11. We had one man up, but yet that one man up, you would have wondered who was playing with 10 men and who was playing with 11 men, because it certainly looked like we were playing with 10 men, and they were playing with 11 men. Okay, fair enough. They were at home. Okay, they've got the crowd, which makes it one player. So that's 11 against 11. But you're one. I mean, and I keep telling people, and I keep saying this. Look at team sheets on paper. Team sheets on paper. We are one of the best EPL teams, without any doubt, and I would argue that with anybody. But on the field, and going back to what you just said and the question you asked me, yes, I always say this: you grind out results. You grind out results. But unfortunately, let's be truthful with ourselves. We are not grinding out these results. And that's the truth. We may have grinded out one result today. But in our last 3 games, we have dropped 4 points, and we have grounded out 1 point from each. Whereas, and I don't say it that way. I say this: we have lost 4 points, 2 points from each game against Southampton and against Everton.
Well. So where does that leave us now? Our next match is against Bournemouth at home. Isn't that the case? And we have what? They're fighting for their lives, aren't they? They won against Leicester today, and so it's a must-win match, isn't it? I mean, and one of the things people always say about Tottenham is that you sort of win the really crunch matches, if you like, and then we become so inconsistent and go into the next match and lose. I mean, the classic example was the match against City. We won quite comfortably, and then in the end, and then we go away to Leicester and just crumble, literally just crumble, probably one of the biggest away defeats in a very, very long time,
So you can see we can play. So it's obvious we can play, it's obvious that we can play, but there's something wrong. Do you know what I mean?
My thing is this, right? I mean, I asked Chuma this question when we had the preview for this match, and one of the things that I said to him was this: look, what exactly is the problem, in the sense that was it a good decision to keep Stellini and Conte, Stellini and Mason in the job, considering that they would continue to play the same system that Conte had when he was there, and also given the fact that the way the players have played or performed with this system so far this season has shown that either they can't play with that system or it doesn't work for them, So, and then you expect that in matches, as situations change, you sort of alter your tactics. But it seems to be the same way that we keep playing. And that same thing happened again today, because, I mean, we just seem to be sort of almost like waiting for teams to attack us, and then we sort of catch them on the counter. And the commentator was saying today that, look, you cannot come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and you expect one outcome, and the outcome is this, that teams would attack Tottenham, right? Tottenham would soak up the pressure, have a break, and get a point or win the match. But it doesn't always happen the way you expect it to happen. And how long can you continue to do that? I mean, so for me, I'm not sure it was a great decision to keep the coaching team that was there. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, Ben.
Well, I think that there's not enough time to do anything different. Well, let's put it this way: you have to look at what the team was the aim. What is the aim? What they'll be asking Daniel Levy is, what do you want to be the outcome for the season? Do you want to finish up as high as you can, or do you want to prepare for next season? That's the decision they have to make. And the decision to finish top 4 has got to be highest, because if Conte's method got them to 4, then all these guys have to do is keep on the work. The problem was Conte opening his mouth. Get Conte out. He's lost respect for the players. So leave him out and continue with the coaching team to coach them the same way he was coaching them, and hope for the best. Because to do anything else would mean to bring in a new manager with new ideas, a rushed manager, because Nagelsmann wasn't coming immediately. So it'll be a rushed manager in place, see where you finish, and then you finish outside of top 4, and all that European money that's guaranteed for the first 6 matches is out the window. So they just looked at it and thought, let's carry on, and hopefully they can do it. Coupled with Ryan Mason. So this is the first match. No, the second match with the two of them, isn't it? Second match.
Yeah, this is the second match, yeah.
It's the second match. So they drew the first one. They've won the second one. I think if I was Daniel Levy, I'd be saying, let's go. Let's go. They're still in it. They lose to Bournemouth, then just think about, I mean, even now I'm thinking of Europa anyway. Put it that way. I'm thinking of Europa. If we do get Champions League, fine. But I'm thinking, you lose against Bournemouth, and it is possible with this Tottenham team. You know, it's almost like you want to whisper in their ears that, look, you're not playing Bournemouth, you're going to play Man City, and see, they'll just wake up.
So you're thinking they'll benefit from some hypnosis, right? Right?
Honestly, just tell them it's City. You're playing City. I think Brian Mason should tell the players that you're playing City, so if you can step up, you're playing City, because maybe that's what it is.
That's an interesting perspective, right? So you think that maybe perhaps they need some sort of psychological input into their psyche that would potentially alter the way that they perceive matches that they're playing. Now, okay, so we won this match, thankfully 2-1. Brighton obviously would obviously rule all of those opportunities that came their way, either because of poor decisions from the VAR, from the match officials, on-field officials, right? But overall, I thought Tottenham fought really, really well towards the end, you know, and they gave a good account of themselves. I mean, granted, we had a few hiccups before that, and maybe things could have gone against us, but we held on, and we won the match when it mattered. I think the key, like Rory says, that doesn't matter how you play. The key is just to keep doing the right thing over the course of the match, and we ended up coming away with the results. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy with the win. Maybe not quite all of the stuff that went on during the course of the match, but hey, a few landmarks. Son coming away with 100 goals in the Premiership. Well done to him. You know, it deserves applause. You know, and he's been a good and faithful servant, even though he's had a sort of iffy season so far. Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane coming up with the goals again. You know, it's inching away towards that record. You know, and we also have things to think about in terms of managerial changes going forward. I mean, there's so much uncertainty all around the whole place at the moment, right? So should we continue with this interim management team, or should we just go out and find a manager? I mean, I think there's so many speculations about who the next manager will be, and for some reason, there's a lot of teams have let go with the managers in the last few weeks. We have done that. Leicester have done that. Chelsea also did that, but they quickly appointed Lampard as their interim coach. I'm not even sort of going to all of that. You know, I don't know about Chelsea here. Well, hey, it just throws up a lot of speculation about the vacancies available and all that. So it gives us that thing about thinking, so where do we stand? You know, I mean, keep your comments coming in if you're watching us. This is Come On You Spurs TV. Let us know where you're talking from. Also, if you here for the first time, subscribe to our channel. If you want to get notified anytime we go live or have videos, please leave your click on the bell button and get notified. Also, like and leave a comment as well. Right, Folabi, I know that we've more or less beaten this topic almost to come home, but should we stick with this managerial team to the end of the season, or find someone immediately to take over, and then hopefully that person will take us to preseason in preparation for next season? It gives that person the chance to A, identify potential targets, B, look at the teams and where he's going to make changes in the team, and use this period as a bit of a study period, if you like, to make whatever changes that need to get made. And this is why, for me, I think a coach like Poch would be ideal, because he knows the club inside out. He almost like is his little baby, if you like, from that perspective. And also, we would need somebody who can almost like hit the ground running. He's very familiar with the Premier League. I mean, he knows it's been there, done it. And okay, maybe he wasn't quite successful, but we all know why that was. I mean, I think he was on the brink of something great, in my view, and it didn't come off towards the end, because we didn't have the investment in the team that it required at the time. And I think where we are now, we're in a much better position financially than when we first built that stadium. We're probably 4 years into it now. I mean, from when the stadium was open. So things are getting a little bit better from the financial perspective. We're getting ability to get more players. Maybe not quite the top players, but Poch has shown that he's able to sort of work with not necessarily top class players, but at least players who can get the job done, and he infused his DNA into us playing free flowing attacking football. And I think,
and he uses a back four.
Say that again.
And he uses a back four.
And he uses a back four, exactly. So yeah, and he's always willing to tactically switch. But I guess in some matches they say that he's probably been outsmarted by some other coaches, but by and large, I think when we had Poch, we were like, what you might call, people feared us. They came to us always in awe and in fear that, look, these guys are going to turn us over, and that was the way we went into matches. When we had Poch, I used to be confident that, look, it wasn't a matter of whether or not it was a matter of how much buy, what the margin was going to be like. And I don't know, we lost a few matches along the way, but by and large, us not winning was the exception rather than the rule. Now, I don't know about you, Ben. I know you always have this this notion about Poch coming back. What do you think?
Yeah, if you asked me before, when Conte was here, I was like, well, no, we don't need him. But thinking about it and thinking, I thought, we might get Nagelsmann, and that would please me. But obviously he's going to Chelsea. So left with everything else, I would say one of two, Poch or Zerbi, just the two of them. Poch, yeah, because we know what he can do with players like we had. But it will be a long haul. We got a lot. We got the whole back line is suspect. Let's be honest. Okay, Poro's new, but man, they're not defense. The defense is as a unit. The defense is not really home. I mean, we can see what's happened. We're letting so many goals, and I don't care what people say. Defenders need to defend, and if your team is not doing well, okay, you might say the whole team should defend together, but all in all, that's the defender's job. If they were clean sheets all over the place, they won't be calling all the midfielders to come and say, "Oh, you did well, you did well." If the defenders get all the credit, our defense has been dire in all senses of the word. And that's why we're in the position we're in now. And the funny thing is that I saw this stat that made me smile, and it was that under all the managers we've had, the Spurs have only been able to win about 50% of all matches played under all the managers. 50%. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? The managers can't get more than
you know,
50% wins.
What I found with stats also is that stats can sort of say any story that you want the stats to say. I mean, coming into this match, Brighton and us had the same form, you know, with 1-3, lost 1, and drawn 2. And they had exactly the same thing, you know, I.e. had 11 points in the last 6 matches. Guess what? Their own draws felt like wins, right? Our own draws felt like losses. You know, so if you paint the picture, you'd say, oh, we were more or less in the same, and they seem to be playing what you might call much more attacking football, more pleasing to the eye. But guess what? They didn't put the ball into the nets legitimately today, and they didn't come away with the result. We came away, okay, granted, we were fortunate in many respects, but hey, I'll take it any day rather than, you know, we play well and lose or play well and draw. So yeah, I mean, I guess in some ways, people might say that this is where our luck turns around. Falabi, what do you think? We've been talking about this Poch thing and his return and all that. What's your take on that?
Your actual question is changed, hasn't it? You started with should they stick with the current duo that we have after
Yep.
sacking of. So which one is your question? Because your question has
Take all
completely
three.
changed.
Take all three. First question was should we stick with this team or change it? If we change it, should we change it to Poch? You know.
So there are 2 questions now.
Yes.
Okay. My first intake is, well, you've got to remember when Don Conte went for his surgery, and Salini took over for a couple of games and everything. We didn't play the same format. We played the same format, but we didn't play in the same way. We weren't so much sitting back in the first half. We were doing a lot more pressing. And even on the Nigerian Spurs forum, everybody was saying, yeah, sack Don Conte with immediate effect and keep Salini. Let's make him our manager and our coach and on this. You know, he won was he not in charge against the City in the City game? I'm not sure. I can't quite remember, but I know he won a couple of games, you know, and many people wanted him kept as the manager. So it was a situation now you're getting rid of Don Conte, you know, and this guy had done quite well before without when Conte was sick, and when Conte came back and then went back to recuperate and heal again. You know, he took over and he did. That's when he won a couple of games. So a lot of people were saying, well, he's done quite well. So why don't we give him a chance? But unfortunately, he's not been so successful since. When I say not so successful, he's drawn 1 game and won 1 game. But there is the manner in which we are playing. That is the thing. So the manner in which we are playing has gone back to the way we were playing with Don Conte, even with Stellini and Mason in charge, which was quite different when Conte had his operation and when Conte was at home recovering. So would I stick with him? I would stick with him if he went back to the way we were playing when Conte was sick and just left hospital and just had his operation, when he let the players out to be playing full flow and attacking and pressing. I will stick with him. Because who do you bring in from now to the end of the season? How many games to go? 8 games to go. Who do you bring in? You can't bring in anybody. You just have to stick with Mason. You know,
Well,
so I would say.
I guess in a way that answers the second question of should we bring in Poch, because if we're going to stick to that to the current study.
Oh, do we bring in Posh now before the end of
Yes.
the season?
Or wait to the end of the season.
Well, that is the only way you do that. The only way you do that is if you're going to keep Poch on as the manager for next, so he can prepare for pre-season and he can prepare for next season. The only way you will do that is that that's under the assumption and the guarantee that one, you're keeping Poch for next season,
All right.
and you're giving him a contract for between 3 to 5 year contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, he's coming in on certain grounds and on certain basis that, okay, he's bringing in with a list that these certain players have to go. He needs this amount of players to come in. He needs this amount of funding. And he needs all these put in place. And then you're bringing him in with his backroom staff. That means you're getting rid of the entire backroom staff that you have right now, which means you're changing the system of the club completely, 3/4 of the way into the season.
Okay.
You can bring him in on the ground with the basis of thinking that you will not destabilize so much as if you were bringing in somebody else completely new. Poch is not so new coming into Spurs. He knows the grounds, he knows the training grounds, he knows the field, he knows the pitch, he knows the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and he is loved. The question would be, what would be the attitude of those players to him coming in? Now, the key is now the attitude of those players. Will they fundamentally change their attitude positively? Because right now, what is affecting those players, the key of the thing that's affecting those players right now is mental and attitude. Their attitude right now is basically, let the season just be over with. That is their attitude. The sooner this season is over with, the better. Let this season just be over with. You know? And what will be the... Pardon?
No, Karen.
Yeah, the biggest two fundamental things is the mental state, the mental transformation of the players. And you've got to remember one thing. When Poch left, he had lost the dressing room. Which is very important to remember. And of those players that were there when Poch was there, you've got the core of them that are still there.
I think you only have 3 players who were there. I mean, sorry, 4. Okay, you have Son, Kane, Dyer, and what's the last name now? Lloris, as well as Sanchez was there as well. Yeah, so yeah.
Davis was there. Lucas was there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, Lucas is leaving now, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got to come back and deal with all those ones again. You know? And then don't forget... Pardon?
You just sack them. Send them to play the reserves.
No, I'm telling you. I've said it. Those players need... You're being kind by telling them to go and play reserve. I said they've got to be sacked.
Yeah, but you can't sack the player. You send him to reserve, then sell him. Like Dyer,
you can't
be sold to some.
You can't sack them. You can put them up for sale.
That's it. Sell Dyer to some. Sell Dyer to a washing machine company.
But if we're being fair to,
I really don't understand what happened to Dyer. Dyer used to be a brilliant distributor of the ball. With what was it? Who did we have then? Not Vertonghen.
Toby.
No.
Alderweireld.
Huh?
Alderweireld.
Alderweireld.
Toby. Dyer used to be a brilliant distributor of the ball from the... I mean, all this passing back, all this trying to play from the back. I don't get it.
But don't forget that when Dyer was playing in the team that had Toby and Vertonghen, he was playing right back at the time, and then central midfield. That was because it was almost like utility player at the time. You could play defense, you could play the middle, you could play the right hand side, and you could also play central midfield. So that was Dyer at the time, you know. But he's remained there now, more or less in like central defense at the center of a back three, which may not necessarily be his best position. But again, I think that's football for you.
That is only in the England team. He's in the England team off the back of what he played last season. Right now, he must be feeling that they're not going to play him at all in England.
Anyway,
well, I really don't care about the England team. No, my concern is Spurs.
Right.
No, I don't care either.
We're looking forward to the next match against Bournemouth. And yeah, I mean it's a big game for us. Of course, all of the rivals are people who are sort of fighting for the top 4 positions. Also have games to play. Even they have games in hand against us. We still have I think the key for us is just to go out and do the business and win our own matches. You know, without saying being too, how do you put it, looking too far forward. I mean, we're not going to make predictions or anything like that at this point in time. However, all I know is that, look, when the next match comes up, we need to be ready. We need to obviously play much more fun football than we've played up to now. But however, if we look at today's match, I mean, being fair, I mean, I think we actually gave a really good fight today. I mean, granted, the results. I mean, we had a few scares and we had things that went our way in many respects. But however, you can only play what's in front of you. I.e., if decisions go in your favor, fantastic. If they don't go against you, just sort of get up and go. And today, thankfully, those decisions went in our favor. So yeah, I mean, our next match is next Saturday against Bournemouth at home. And our guys around us have Newcastle are playing Villa away, another away match for them, and Man United. I think who are they playing now? They're playing Forest. So. I'm not sure whether our position will change at the end of play next week. But hey, like you know how this football is. You just never know how things are going to pan out. But we'll wait and see.
It's
okay. But guys, it's an absolute pleasure having you guys as always. Thank you so much. Final words from you, Ben.
Yeah, I had a great day. It's a great feeling. Onwards and upwards. Let's see what happens. I mean, this is a team that beat Man City. Let's hope someone can help them find themselves again, and let's get a fine end to the season. Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you so much, Ben. Falabi?
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems as if that bottom league, the teams at the bottom of the league, don't forget these teams, they're fighting for survival. They're fighting for survival. They're coming with grit and blood and sweat and tears. So we just got to come out with the same and match them, and we've definitely got to come out with that grit, the desire, the will, the hunger, and with our skills and with our natural flair and everything. I think if we do that, we will win. But we have to come. We can't just rely on pure flair and name and reputation, because they're not going to fear us, home or away. They're fighting. They're fighting for their lives.
Absolutely.
And we've got to look at it. We've got to look at it. Fighting for 4th position is fighting for our lives as well. So we've got to come out with, as I always say, blood, sweat, and tears. Leave it at the end after 90 minutes and crawl off that field. Fight for that badge, fight for that club, and fight for your supporters, who basically are paying your salaries and wages.
Absolutely.
You've got to have that attitude. That's the attitude that's going to win you the game.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure having you, both of you. I really appreciate your inputs and supports. Yes, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Okay. Cheers. Have a wonderful week.
Next time, take good care. Bye now.
Happy Easter.